Welcome, beautiful damsels. Disappearance is not a weakness, it's a strategy. Ever had someone vanish from your life without a single word? No fight, no warning, just poof, gone? If you've ever been on the receiving end of this, chances are you were dealing with a Sigma female. And here's the hard truth: she didn't ghost you because she was confused, hurt, or playing games. She ghosted you because you no longer served a purpose in her world. Psychologists say ghosting triggers the same brain response as physical pain. But let's be real. Sigma females don't care about your brain chemistry. They move differently. They operate by an unspoken code that prioritizes peace, efficiency, and a ruthless sense of self-preservation. If you've ever wondered why a Sigma female left you on read for eternity, prepare yourself. The answers aren't sugar-coated, and they definitely aren't polite. Number 1, they don't owe you closure. Sigma females don't believe in closure the way most people do. To them, it's a pointless ritual, a drawn-out conversation filled with explanations, justifications, and reassurances designed to make the other person feel better. But here's the thing: they don't see why they should take responsibility for someone else's emotional comfort. If they've decided to walk away, they've already thought it through. They don't owe anyone a breakdown of their reasoning, nor do they feel the need to soften the blow. Society teaches people that closure is necessary, that it's a final chapter that helps both parties move on. But Sigma females don't buy into that idea. They know that most people who beg for closure don't actually want the truth. They want to be reassured, to be given hope, or to be convinced that they weren't the problem. And Sigma females refuse to play into that illusion. They operate with a simple, brutal mindset. If you don't understand why they left, that's on you. They believe people reveal their true nature through their actions, and if someone has to ask, "Why did you ghost me?" then they probably already know the answer but just don't want to accept it. They also know that closure is often just a trap, a last attempt to keep the connection alive. It's rarely about understanding. It's about prolonging a conversation that should have ended long ago. Sigma females refuse to entertain that. Once they've made up their minds, they're gone. No explanations, no drawn-out discussions, just silence. Some people call it cold. They call it efficient. And to them, that's all that matters. Number 2, emotional deadweight is a liability. Sigma females don't carry emotional deadweight. They see relationships, whether friendships, romances, or even casual connections, as investments, not obligations. If someone constantly drains their energy, brings unnecessary drama, or demands too much emotional labor without offering anything of real value in return, they cut the cord without hesitation. Not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. To them, every interaction either adds to their life or takes away from it. There's no in-between. They have zero tolerance for people who expect them to be emotional caretakers, constantly listening to complaints, fixing problems, or offering support while getting nothing in return. They see this as an unfair, one-sided exchange, and they refuse to participate in it. This is why they don't issue warnings or give second chances. If someone becomes a source of constant negativity, unnecessary drama, or emotional exhaustion, they walk away, fast. They don't believe in helping people at their own expense, or sticking around out of loyalty. To them, loyalty is earned through mutual respect and equal energy exchange. If someone can't meet them at their level, they see no reason to stay. Society often romanticizes the idea of being a good person by tolerating toxic relationships and putting up with emotional leeches. Sigma females reject that mindset entirely. They believe in protecting their peace, even if it means disappearing without an explanation. Some people might call it ruthless, but to a Sigma female, it's simple. If someone is weighing them down, they refuse to carry them. Number 3, unapologetic self-preservation. Sigma females don't apologize for protecting their peace. In a world that constantly demands compromise, emotional labor, and endless tolerance, they refuse to play along. If someone threatens their mental well-being, personal growth, or independence, they cut ties instantly, without hesitation, without guilt, and without looking back. To them, self-preservation isn't selfish. It's survival. They've worked hard to build their inner world. one free from unnecessary drama, manipulation, and toxic influences. So when they sense that someone is disturbing their equilibrium, they don't waste time with warnings or second chances. They simply remove the problem. No drawn-out conversations, no explanations, just an abrupt and permanent exit. This is what sets them apart from people who tolerate bad behavior out of obligation. They don't believe in suffering for the sake of keeping a relationship alive. Whether it's a friendship, a romantic connection, or even family, they prioritize their well-being above all else. If a person brings constant negativity, tries to control them, or disrupts their growth, they are cut off without a shred of remorse. The world often expects women, in particular, to be endlessly patient, understanding, and forgiving. Sigma females reject that expectation entirely. They don't see why they should endure discomfort just to avoid making someone else feel bad. If someone reacts poorly to being cut off, that's their burden to carry, not the Sigma females. People who get ghosted by a Sigma often say, "She didn't even give me a chance to explain." And that's exactly the point. She doesn't need an explanation. She already saw the warning signs, and she acted accordingly. No guilt, no regrets, just unapologetic self-preservation. Number 4. Fake apologies don't work on them. Sigma females don't fall for fake apologies. They've seen too many people say sorry just to smooth things over, without actually meaning it. To them, an apology is worthless if it's not backed by real change. They don't care about well-crafted excuses, teary-eyed performances, or long-winded explanations. If someone disrespects them, the damage is done. And in most cases, there's no coming back from it. Unlike most people who crave closure or reconciliation, Sigma females operate differently. They don't need an apology to move on because they were never looking for one in the first place. They don't give people second chances to prove they can make the same mistake twice. They believe that a person's true nature is revealed in their actions, and once trust is broken, words won't fix it. This is why many people find them cold or unforgiving. But in reality, it's not about holding grudges. It's about having unshakable self-respect. They refuse to be manipulated by empty words. They've seen how people apologize just to escape consequences, only to repeat the same behavior later. Sigma females don't play that game. If someone crosses a line, they exit permanently. This isn't pettiness, it's efficiency. They know that if someone truly values them, they won't have to be disrespected in the first place. So when people come crawling back with apologies, they don't get emotional, they don't argue, they don't entertain the drama, they just keep walking. Because for a Sigma female, once they're done, they're done. Number 5, they prioritize evolution over familiarity. Sigma. Females don't stay in situations that no longer serve them. Whether it's a friendship, a relationship, or even a job, they have no interest in clinging to something just because it's familiar. If they feel like they've outgrown a connection or it's no longer adding value to their life, they walk away without hesitation and without regret. They are constantly evolving, always pushing themselves to learn, grow, and become better, and they expect the same from the people around them. If a relationship feels stagnant, if the conversations are the same recycled small talk, or if they sense that they're staying out of habit rather than genuine interest, they see no reason to continue. They don't fear change, they embrace it. This is what makes them different from most people. Many stay in uninspiring relationships because they fear the unknown, hate being alone, or don't want to start over. Sigma females don't see it that way. To them, staying in a dead-end connection is far worse than being alone. They would rather move forward solo than waste time in a relationship that holds them back. Some may see this as being detached or unemotional, but it's not. It's self-awareness. They know that if they're no longer mentally, emotionally, or intellectually stimulated, they'll eventually become resentful or indifferent. And they refuse to fake enthusiasm just to keep the peace. Instead of forcing themselves to stay, they simply leave. This is why people often feel blindsided when a Sigma female ghosts them. There was no big argument, no obvious betrayal, just a slow realization that the connection had run its course. And once she reaches that conclusion, there's no discussion, no negotiation, no dragging things out. just a quiet, definitive exit. For a Sigma female, comfort is the enemy of growth. If a relationship doesn't challenge, inspire, or elevate her, she won't stay just because it's familiar. She will always choose evolution over stagnation, no matter how much history is involved. Number 6. They ghost to protect their energy. Sigma. Females don't stick around in situations that drain them, and they definitely don't stay just to be polite. If something feels off, whether it's a toxic friendship, an exhausting relationship, or even an uncomfortable conversation, they leave. No debate, no dramatic exit, just complete and total disengagement. They've learned that protecting their energy isn't just important, it's essential. The world is full of people who take more than they give, who drain others with their negativity, neediness, or constant drama. Sigma females refuse to be emotional dumping grounds. If a person or situation is depleting their mental, emotional, or spiritual reserves, they cut the cord immediately. This isn't about being cruel or dismissive, it's about self-preservation. They understand that their energy is a limited resource and they won't waste it on people who don't deserve it. They don't do forced conversations, unnecessary explanations, or performative kindness. If they're done, they're done. And they don't feel guilty about it. Some people will call it rude or heartless, but Sigma females don't operate based on other people's expectations. They don't believe in staying in unhealthy dynamics just to avoid hurting someone's feelings. They know that the longer they stay in draining situations, the more they lose themselves. And that's a price they're never willing to pay. This is why their ghosting feels so abrupt. One moment, they're present, engaged, and seemingly invested. The next, they're gone without a trace. It's not about playing games, it's about survival. They leave when their energy is at risk, and they don't stick around long enough for anyone to change their mind. At the end of the day, Sigma females prioritize their well-being over social niceties. If something feels wrong, they don't argue, negotiate, or second-guess. They disappear. And to them, that's not cold, it's necessary. Number 7. Respect is earned, not given. Sigma females live by one rule. Respect is earned, not given. They don't hand it out freely, and they definitely don't waste time on people who show even the slightest sign of disrespect. Unlike those who tolerate bad behavior out of politeness or social expectations, Sigma females don't play that game. If someone crosses the line, whether through dishonesty, manipulation, or even subtle disrespect, they often leave without a word. They don't believe in endless chances or forgiving the same mistake twice. In their minds, disrespect is not an accident, it's a choice. And once they see that choice being made, they remove themselves immediately. They won't argue, plead, or demand better treatment. They simply disappear, making it clear that once respect is lost, there's no earning it back. Many people mistake this for being harsh or unforgiving, but Sigma females see it differently. They know that allowing even small levels of disrespect opens the door for more. They've watched others tolerate mistreatment, hoping it would change, only for it to escalate over time. Sigma females refuse to fall into that trap. The moment they sense someone doesn't value them, they walk away. No second chances, no explanations, just a quiet and final exit. This is why people often feel blindsided when a Sigma female ghosts them. They didn't realize they crossed the line until it was too late. There was no warning, no discussion, just an unspoken understanding that respect was broken and the relationship was over. For a Sigma female, respect is non-negotiable. If someone doesn't show it, they don't waste time trying to make them. Instead, they send the strongest message possible: their silence. Number 8. Loyalty is not handed out freely. Loyalty is not something a Sigma female gives away casually. It's not a badge they wear simply because time has passed or because of some unwritten social obligation. Loyalty to them is earned. Unlike those who stick around in relationships out of habit or the pressure of keeping things together, Sigma females reserve their loyalty for the people who show they genuinely appreciate and respect them. They aren't swayed by nostalgia or past experiences. If someone hasn't proved their worth through consistent actions, loyalty won't just be handed over. They've seen too many relationships where one side gives everything while the other takes without offering much in return. To a Sigma female, that's not loyalty. It's exploitation, and they have no interest in being anyone's emotional doormat. If they're going to invest their time, energy, and emotions, it will be on their terms. They stay where they feel valued, where their contributions, whether emotional, intellectual, or physical, are reciprocated. If someone takes them for granted, they will quietly fade away, not out of spite, but because they don't waste their precious resources on relationships that don't nurture them back. This is what makes them so different from people who cling to toxic dynamics out of fear of being alone or out of a misguided sense of duty. Sigma females aren't afraid of being alone. They know their worth and are not willing to dilute that by staying where their value isn't recognized. If they don't feel appreciated, they walk away. No guilt, no hesitation. For a Sigma female, loyalty is a two-way street. It's not about sticking around because you're supposed to, but about staying where you feel respected, understood, and valued. If you don't give that, don't expect her to stay. Loyalty is something you earn, not something that's freely given. Number 9, they don't chase, ever. Sigma females don't chase, ever. Whether it's a friendship, a relationship, or a professional connection, if they sense they're being undervalued, they simply walk away. They don't beg for attention, they don't argue to stay, and they definitely don't chase after people who couldn't care less about them. For them, value is non-negotiable. If someone isn't willing to meet them halfway, put in the effort, or show appreciation, they see no reason to continue investing their energy. They don't stick around for breadcrumbs, empty promises, or one-sided efforts. If the other person isn't as committed as they are, it's a clear sign that they're not worth their time. Unlike others who might wait around hoping things will change, Sigma females know that time is their most precious resource. They understand that you can't force someone to appreciate you, and they're not interested in trying. If they feel undervalued, neglected, or disrespected, they don't stay in a situation where they have to fight for attention or approval. They move on with complete confidence, knowing that there are plenty of people who will recognize their worth and meet them at their level. This is what makes them so different from those who fear rejection or being alone. Sigma females don't need validation from others to feel complete. They're self-sufficient, self-assured, and comfortable in their own space. If someone isn't willing to meet their standards, they see no reason to lower their own to accommodate them. Some might view this as cold or detached, but for Sigma females, it's about maintaining their standards and protecting their energy. They won't chase anyone, and they certainly won't settle for less than they deserve. They walk away when they're not being valued because they know that their worth isn't up for negotiation. Number 10, they disappear when they're misunderstood. Sigma females don't waste their time explaining themselves to people who don't get them. They've learned that no matter how much they try to clarify their intentions, there will always be people who will misunderstand them, either due to their own biases, insecurities, or simple ignorance. Instead of getting caught in the exhausting cycle of trying to prove their worth or clarify their motives, they simply let go and move on. They don't feel the need to constantly justify their actions, thoughts, or feelings. Sigma females know that people who truly understand them will do so without 1,000 explanations. They don't owe anyone an in-depth breakdown of who they are or why they act the way they do. If someone can't see past the surface or refuses to understand their complexity, they don't waste their energy trying to convince them otherwise. Misunderstanding is, to a Sigma female, a sign of incompatibility. If someone can't comprehend or appreciate their individuality, they see it as a sign that this relationship, be it romantic, platonic, or professional, isn't meant to continue. They don't chase after validation, and they certainly don't chase after people who can't see them for who they truly are. In their minds, trying to explain themselves repeatedly is a form of self-sabotage. It chips away at their sense of independence and peace. So instead of fighting to be understood, they retreat. They disappear, not out of anger, but out of a deep sense of self-respect. If someone can't grasp the depth of who they are, they move on, confident that the right people will appreciate them without needing constant explanations. Sigma females don't get bogged down by misunderstanding. They move in silence, knowing that if someone truly values them, they will understand them from the start, or at least be willing to learn. If not, they quietly walk away, undeterred. In the end, Sigma females operate on a level of self-awareness and independence that most people simply can't grasp. They don't chase, they don't settle, and they sure as hell don't tolerate disrespect. Their lives are guided by a deep understanding of their worth, a refusal to waste time on anything that doesn't align with their values, and an unwavering commitment to preserving their peace. For them, the people who truly matter will rise to meet them, and those who don't can fade away into the background. Their ability to cut ties with toxic people without hesitation, their focus on growth over familiarity, and their unapologetic pursuit of self-preservation make them a force to be reckoned with. It's not about being cold or indifferent. It's about recognizing that life is too short to spend on relationships or situations that drain or undermine them. A Sigma female's time, energy, and loyalty are priceless, and once they've made the decision to walk away, there's no looking back. So if you've ever wondered why Sigma females ghost or why they seem so elusive, remember this. They ghost because they value their energy, their growth, and their peace. They're not running from you. They're running towards something better, something more aligned with who they are and where they're going. It's not personal, it's just their reality. And it's a reality that demands respect because in their world, they answer to no one but themselves. If you found this insight into the world of Sigma females intriguing and want to learn more about what makes them so unique, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more raw, real, and thought-provoking content that will keep you on the edge of your seat. You won't want to miss what's coming next. So go ahead, subscribe, and let's keep this journey going together. Thanks, damsels, for tuning in. See you in the next vid. Bye, and stay blessed.